Okay. Very good. I'll just start up AoMEE right now, and then we'll dive straight into the Rex. For Boit against Mr. Boat. Now, I think Boit is just an Odin player, though he plays like any non-Atlantean god, while Mr. Boat mains mainly Odin and Set. Okay, where is it? Okay, here are our games. So you have Boyd playing Zeus, actually, against Mr. Boat's Odin. Let me turn off my DX story frame limiter. Okay, so it's going to be Mediterranean first game. So I'd say this map, it definitely favors Zeus here. Boyd just going for the granary on the one board. I prefer that over going for the berries. Like you're going to need to make a granary anyway on this map. So I think it's nice that he's going for the boars instead of the berries here, since the boars does gather faster. Even though there are a lot more food in the berries, since there's 7 of them, I still like going to the boar here just because it gathers fast. Mr. Boat, on the other hand, he sees this one salmon here, and he's built a dock. Even though it might have been like fit further up down here, it's perfectly fine. And he's also going for his boar. So it looks like he's used Great Hunt on the boar, so he's got an extra boar and an extra cow from it. That's a nice use for Great Hunt. Actually, hold up. You open my chat app. Looking at the fish, Boit's starting dot location. It's quite decent. There's 9 fish in the corner for Boit, and for Mr. Boat, there's only 3 here, and then there's 3 more in the corner, but it's quite far to the corner. There's 3 more here, so I'd say this first stock of the starting fish is a bit better for Boit. And like Odin and water is just, I think it's just not very good, so definite advantage to Boyd here. Okay. So we see Mr. Boat, he's being very efficient. He's using the same ox cart for this wood line and his gold, which is very nice. And Boyd, he's going for some pretty standard build. Going for 7 on wood and then make a new dock, and then you go on and put more villagers on wood until you have like 10 or 11, depending on how many fish you want to boom with. He's run out of his board here, so he's moving on to his cows. But then his cows aren't going to be enough to age up, so he's probably going to have to move on to his berries in order to age up. This cow isn't quite enough. Yeah, and he has to go for the berries eventually. Mr. Boat, he's also going for a second dock. He's slightly behind in population, and he also seems to be housed a bit. Well, actually, he wasn't housed because he wasn't making villagers. But then, right now, let's have a look at their civilian units. So it looks like Mr. Boat has not as many boats as Boit. It's quite unfortunate. You think that with a name like Mr. Boat, you should have a lot more boats, fishing boats. He docks in the top corner. Unfortunate, there are more fish on the bottom. He's used his Raven to scout out the corners now, so now he knows that maybe there are more fish here and he should have gone for this side instead. He's also walled up here to defend any last in his gold. In terms of economic upgrades, 6 minutes in, Mr. Burt has hand axe because fine for this map. And Boit, he's got hand axe and pickaxe, and he's also going to be playing very aggressive for a very aggressive classical attack. He's got 2 military academies and an archery range, and he's looping soldiers. He's got the forward hunt for the extra food income, and he's also got loads and loads of fish. I'd expect him to get Persine here, and then also try to fake a bit of an attack on sea with triremes. So just going all out on land to try and make Mr. Boat make some more longboats to defend. I feel like that would be worth it for a Boit. But there are many ways to go about this matchup as Zeus. Personally, like I feel like a fast heroic or semi-fast heroic with Hydras is like really nice way to play this as well. Norse, Odin especially, and Thor, not very good at dealing with Hydras. You see a nice pickup here with a Minotaur on the All-Starks and some pressure on this bottom tower because this side is quite well defended. But like as Mr. Boat here, I feel like he shouldn't really be concerned about this tower here. He could just be building right under here and be perfectly fine. Like this tower, it protects the berries and then maybe the settlement a bit. It's like no big deal if this tower gets taken down. But since he can't defend it, I guess there's like, I guess he should defend it since he can. Yeah, eco ups. Boit isn't getting Persine. That's not something I agree with. He's got so many fishing ships. It'll really, really boost his food income up, and then he wouldn't need to have these 7 villagers down here hunting. Getting Persine would be really, really good right now for Boit. Really toxicity. I mean, really hoplite heavy army, so he'll be able to really kill buildings really, really fast. And Mr. Boat, he's going to want to make some throwing axemen to counter these hoplites. He does see this army. He's making raiding cavalry. I don't really like the choice of making raiding cavalry here. I do see these throwing axemen are coming out now. For gold mines, though, I feel like Mr. Boat, he needs to be really careful. He needs to hit heroic to make sure he gets frost before this gold mine runs out. All the while keeping enough classic army to just like not crumble to the pressure of the Zeus. So he needs to strike a really fine balance there, and I think he's doing a good job right now with the throwing axemen. The wall here, the forest fire. Like he needs frost to make sure he can expand out to this gold mine, because otherwise he just loses to the Zeus army when the Zeus has restoration. And Boit finally has Persine, so he's going to start really getting that good food income, and he can make loads and loads of hoplites, which are these nice food units, and they'll be good against these throwing axemen. You do see these 2 idle villagers here. 2 idle fishing ships, which he needs to fix. He's expanding his fishing eco on water, which is always good, but he still really needs to worry about getting heroic in time before this gold mine runs out, because once this gold mine runs out, he's gonna have to fight for his next gold mine, and Zeus has restoration and these really strong Minotaurs, hoplites, heroes. He really needs frost in these monsters. But Boit uses restoration right now Oh, Mr. Boat really doesn't need to fight this. He doesn't need to fight this. He can just back out for a bit. He doesn't need to fight this restoration. I don't think this fight is good for Mr. Boat. He's got the tower here helping defend, but I'm not sure if it's enough. With the medium upgrades and all these medium hoplites, it just seems like Boit's army is a lot stronger here. With the Minotaur coming in, it's going to be able to deal with the raiding cavalry very well. So I don't think this fight is going to go in Mr. Boat's favor. He should really just be backing out now. But then that said, he's really struggling to go heroic. He's not got the gold, and he's on 80 population to Boit's almost full population on one town center. It's a forward gold mine, so it's really vulnerable, and it looks like his army is going to get overwhelmed. And there's just no way he's going to be able to hold on to this gold mine now with only 200 gold left, let alone move on to the next gold mine. But then you see he's sneaking down here. He's sneaking down to this gold mine at the bottom, and Boit does not have it scouted. But he is continuing. But as long as he continues to lose army right now, like these unfavorable fights against Boit, like he's not going to be able to go heroic as long as he keeps losing army. It's looking really bad. Now Boit is pressuring his town center, and with these hoplites, the town center is going down so fast. But Mr. Boat is using his gatherers to fend off the push. And it's looking like this is really close. These gatherers take a lot of micro to make sure they can focus down the hoplites, and now it looks like most of the threat is gone. There's just one Minotaur and 3 hoplites left. But then the town center is so low in health, it's only got 200 health. And reinforcements for Boit are coming. So this town center, it looks like it's not going to be able to stay up, and if this town center goes down, it's certainly going to be GG. It's only got 50 health left. This Minotaur, it looks like, oh, this town center goes down. The town center goes down, so this is probably game right now. Like, and also, Boit has found his gold mine and is destroying the gold here. Destroying all these villagers. So this game is over. It's unlucky map for Mr. Boat, and he had Midgard is like, or any Walter map is quite hard for Odin against Zeus, and he's not able to fight for these gold mines. So he loses now. He rebuilds the town center, but that takes up all his resources. And now he doesn't have gold to defend, and Boit's just running over him with these hoplites. I think he really needs more throwing X-Men to beat the heavy hoplite army, the hoplite heavy army of Boit. Only medium hoplites. But when they were fighting, Mr. Boat, he didn't have medium upgrades. He had lots of raiding cavalry, which are no good against these hoplites. He used throwing X-Men to beat them. It's just too much right now for Mr. Boat. Mr. Boat taps out. So game 1 goes to Boit. Game 1 goes to Boit. An unlucky map for Mr. Boat. So game 2, you see Isis against Odin. Mr. Boat sticking with Odin, and Boit switching it up with Isis. It's Ghost Lake, and it's a double gold mine Ghost Lake spawn, which I think is nice for Isis. Having these 2 gold mines in your base is really nice. You don't get gold starved going like fast heroic or going for 2 town centers or whatever. You see these 2 Aurochs, so it's a nice hunt spawn. Mr. Boat using Great Hunt on, I'm not sure. I think he used it on some of the herdables, but then he shouldn't have had enough at that stage to get full Great Hunt. So did he multiply the Aurochs? Oh, okay. So it looks like he did multiply the Auroch, and then the Aurochs spawned on different sides of the base for Mr. Boat, but then they spawned on the same side for Boit. So Boit looks like he's going to be able to scoop up this Auroch with maybe the same granary, or just using the granary on the berries, while Mr. Boat isn't able to do so. Mr. Boat here, he's only going for a 1 elf build. He's scouted a small, nice circle around his base to get as many goats as he can, and he's got a good number of goats. But he would be It'd be much better if he, I mean, much more ghosts if he went for 2 alts. Is that worth it because it does set your economy behind a bit? I think it is, but I'm not the one playing, and I'm not really entirely sure. It's just a guess. So it looks like Mr. Boat's going to be able to age up from these ore rocks alone, and then he's moving to the hunt outside his base, which he should have no problem securing against Nisus. And then after that, just looking at the map, it is a 2 gold mine spawn, so that kind of encourages you to take town centers and play a bit more boomy. But both of these town centers for Mr. Boat, they don't really secure anything. Like this town center right here is a bit better because there's this gold mine forward, but then it's not really protected by this town center. It's not protected at all. So we'll see what he goes for. I think like maybe here you still want to go for like a 2 town center semi-fast heroic or something. Like those frost giants as Odin are really nice when playing against Isis because you can freeze the siege towers and then weaken their push so much if they can't like if you freeze a siege tower, it's just so huge. Those frost giants and frost is just like really important for defending against Isis's heroic push. And then Boit on the other hand, Boit looks like he's going for a bit of a classic fight. You see him making a barracks down here. He's also managed to get his hunts no problem. Looking at the advance times, wow, he's actually advanced really fast. Okay, that's a bit surprising. He's came forward with these 3 priests in his pharaoh to harass the gold. But remember, this is EE, so he did have to pay for this technology, 70 gold for this technology to get the full pharaoh attack. And at the moment, it doesn't look like Mr. Boat quite has the units to defend it yet, but that will change soon because he has a longhouse up. If Mr. Boat just makes a few units from this longhouse, then he would be able to defend this push. He's making raiding cavalry, but I feel like all Sarks would be a better option here, just because they train faster. He really wants to get those units out as fast as possible to make sure you can repel these 3 heroes. Because they've also pushed them off of the hunt, but there's not that much hunt left. There's only 300, so it's not that big of a deal. Mr. Boyd's making axemen, though, and axemen aren't the best unit against raiding cavalry. Like, usually you'd expect Egypt to make more spearmen against Norse if they don't know what they're making yet. Only axemen, once you start seeing the elf Sarks throwing axemen and Hersers. I guess the axemen will always be useful against the few Hersers Mr. Boat's making. You see the army of Boit right now just wandering around Mr. Boat's base, looking for something to harass, but then apart from this hunt, there isn't really anything outside the base to harass. He does find the other side of the gold mine, and he is going to be able to harass it a bit, but then this is still like a lot of loss empowerment attacking the Pharaoh, so I'm not sure if this sort of little harassment tactic really paid off for Boit. I'm not sure it was the right strategy to go for, seeing as this is a 2 gold mine ghostly. So, like, this wasn't much of a problem for Mr. Boat. He did end up getting watchtowers as a response to this harass, but I feel like it's not really like it's a technology that Odin wants to get anyway against this aggressive Isis to help survive ancestors and equips.
Keep on.
He's also got good eco-ups. Boy does decent eco-ups, and he's going for this heavy classic fight, but I'm not sure what this classic fight's going to accomplish. I don't know why he's choosing the classic fight when there are 2 gold mines here. Like, the gold isn't going to run out, and he doesn't have to worry about securing his next gold anytime soon. Maybe it's to make sure Mr. Boat doesn't just comfortably grab his next town center. This is game 2, 50 Shades. Hi, sorry, I didn't see your message. I was sort of covering the overlay tab. Let me move some things around a bit. Okay. So I feel like Mr. Boat's in a nice spot. Like the early harass, it didn't actually do much damage on him. It made a tiny bit of idle time, but then all that lost empowerment time for Boit. That was really favorable for Mr. Boat. And maybe going for this early fair harass isn't quite so worth it on a map with these two gold mines and not too much starting hunt outside. Like by the time he goes, the starting hunt is almost finished, and then there's no other starting hunt to try and fight over. I see Mr. Boat going for a bit of a raid. Boit's army of spearmen and axemen does catch it, and he's not going to be able to fight it. But these Norse units are much more mobile than the Egyptian army. And Boit right now, he doesn't know that this town center is being taken. So his army got distracted by these raiding cavalry from Mr. Boat, and because of that, he doesn't know where to attack right now. He's moving around with this army, and he doesn't know about this town center going up. I feel like if Mr. Boat's taking this town center, he should try to mine from this gold mine first, because this town center will protect this gold mine. So this gold mine will always be safe. So it's just a small thing, but he should be trying to mine from this gold mine first.
Into you.
See the forest fire coming down, and it's a pretty good forest fire. Like usually you aren't able to get much value out of forest fire against ISIS, who can make a monument. It looks like it's just out of range here. It is able to, I think, do some damage on these units here, and I think there was a singer there also, which got picked off in this raid. It was also where Boit was cutting his wood, so it's a nice bit of harass there. And you see, Mr. Boat does have one villager kill over Boit due to this nice raid here. He also got two town centers as well. Boit, he has this big classical army, but then, given this map, there's nothing to fight over yet. The gold mines aren't running out anytime soon. It's a 2 gold mine ghost lake, so his classical army, it's not really pulling its weight. Surely maybe fast heroic would have been better here, or even just like a 2 town center fast heroic on this kind of double gold mine ghost lake. See the relics, the Titan's treasure, and the flagstone of Buhin, both not very relevant relics. Now, looking at the gold mine for Mr. Boat, he's still got 840 gold, and he got 1,600 gold on this gold mine. So it's quite a while until, it's at least 5 more minutes until Mr. Boat runs out of gold, and 5 minutes is plenty. Okay, 50 Shade says, oh no, Boit has poor farm placement. And I don't think this is too bad. This is alright. Like, he does want to place them, like, I don't think he's using too much efficiency like this, but then, like, these 1, 2, 3, 4 farms, maybe this one, 5 is slightly bad, 6. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, this isn't too bad though. You should make more farms around this granary over here, and also this granary. Like, you should be using these granaries maybe to make farms. But, yeah, these farms aren't too bad. And then we see one of the strengths of Odin here. He's got so much more of these goats that he's not yet had to invest in farms. Like Mr. Boat doesn't have to invest in farms. He's only started farming now. He's got this really food economy because of all these goats that he has from his bear scouting through the middle. And I know it's possible to place farms around your TC with 0 gaps, but it's like, I'm saying it's not too bad. Like I've seen way worse for farms from like high level players, and even Magyar. Like looking at, I mean the real Magyar. Like looking at his rec, some of his farms are really haphazard. Okay, so this population is actually quite similar. That's surprising. I'd have thought that Mr. Boat would have a much. I don't know. He does have more population now. Yeah, so Mr. Boat is ahead in population. He's ahead of town center, and he's ahead Well, he's not actually that hard-hitting villagers, but then this is because he didn't have to make farms. This is how powerful just like finding herdables and then having more herdables is with Great Hunt. He is going 2 town centers. He has a better eco, and yet he's still going to win this fight here with a bigger army. He should really try to pick up this fair, which is in June now, and like all these things go down. Like this fight was a definite win for Mr. Boat. That's because he didn't have to farm. Like Boit had to invest all these resources into farms. Like sure, Mr. Boat invested a lot of resources into a second town center, but he has all these goats. He didn't have to invest resources into farms, and he gets a better gather rate on food on top of that. That's thanks to Great Hunt as well, to be able to multiply some of the goats that he has. Right now we see Boit is just so far behind after losing that classical fight. He then invests in his economy. He doesn't have hand axe, and he doesn't have that many on wood. He's got kind of shitty upgrades. He doesn't have shaft line. It's 11 minutes in. He's still stuck in classical age. He's making these spearmen to fight this Norse army that has throwing axemen and upgraded raiding cavalry and all sharks. Like now he chooses to grab this other town center. It is spotted by the Raven though. And this town center, it's sort of late to grab it. Doesn't secure any resources. It doesn't secure this gold mine. So Boit's in a really spurious position. His next barrier now is going to be what he is going to do once he runs out of gold. He is going for 3 town centers. But then that sort of really opens him up to getting gold starved now. He still has his eclipse for ancestors if he manages to go heroic, which he should be able to. So that should secure him the gold mine, but is that enough? Like, if he's just forced to play defensive for the rest of the game, then Mr. Boat will surely win with his Ragnarok. Mr. Boat's going 3 town centers. He's got a 10 villager lead. He's got more army. He's got probably way more resources total, so he's just really far ahead. But he's just starting to make his farms now. He won't need to make as many farms as Boit does. Since seeing as he can make dwarves to go mythic with in Ragnarok. Who won game 1? Boit won game 1. Game 1 was Zeus against Odin on Midgard, and Boit did a very aggressive classic fight, making 2 military academies and 1 archery range, and zerging down Mr. Boat with hoplites. Mr. Boat really needed heroic to be able to win a fight and secure his next gold mine, but he wasn't able to go heroic. The pressure was too much, and Boit won game 1. The Raven now sees this mining going on, and we see Mr. Boat moving in all his army down here to this gold mine. On the other hand, Boit does find Mr. Boat's gold, and he's going to be able to pick off a few of these 7 dwarves and make some idle time. But I feel like this attack's going to be equally as strong, at least, if not stronger. And now all these units, they're out of position to defend here, so this attack is definitely going to be working for Mr. Boat. And Boit has to back out. And Mr. Boat should be able to return to this gold mine no problem, seeing as Boit's army has backed out to defend this gold mine. He's got a lot of units here. There are actually a lot of classic fight units here for Boit. So maybe it would be wise not to fight this for Mr. Boat. And Mr. Boat, he sees he doesn't really need to take this risk. He is backing off. He's going to be losing a few units, but he's far enough ahead. I don't think he has to risk fighting this. There are actually quite a lot of units here, so I like this decision to not fight this. Oh, he is turning around to fight this. I'm not sure about this. Like, I feel like if he wanted to fight, he should have just fought straight away without losing half the dock and trying to run away first. I think this fight's going to go in Boit's favor. Yeah, Mr. Boat's army getting annihilated. That, however, does mean that Mr. Boat, as his town center is free to make villagers, he's got free population. Now we see the score gap. The score gap has closed. Mr. Boit is catching up, but Mr. Boat is going through Skadi. His 2 town centers are idle, though. Really needs to be making all those villagers to make sure his economy is going, and he has a good Ragnarok. Also, we see this ox cart here. Like, one thing on E is you really need to be careful with these ox carts. You don't want to put them too close to the gold mine, otherwise this happens. This dwarf is stuck right in the middle of the gold mine, and that happens if you put your ox carts too close to the gold mine. You want to make sure there's a little gap, otherwise you'll get stuck, like this dwarf here. You need to be really careful about this. So Mr. Boat, he's not making any villagers. He finally noticed that his town centers are idle. He's making villagers now. He uses the military disadvantage. He's getting raided now by boit. So that fight there, that was really costly for Mr. Boat. He really shouldn't have fought that. And he's now going to be in a little bit of gold pressure by boit. But then he should be fine since he has frost. Like, there's no way that boit can pressure his gold mine with frost. Boit going for prosperity now. Mr. Boat frosting this army here. There are a few units that aren't frosted. But this army, it's going to fall. So this is a good frost, and it's also going to allow Mr. Boat to get the Hellfort up, and there's no way that he's going to get pushed off this goal. Well, actually, boit still does have Ancestors and Eclipse coming. Boit probably... I think boit did pick up Heroic, like, right about just now. So there's going to be Ancestors and Eclipse coming down to this location, but with this army gone, and then this Hellfort coming up, I don't think it's going to be enough to deny it. He should use Frost on Son of Osiris. No, I don't think so. I think this is perfectly fine. He's going to have Ragnarok anyway for Son of Osiris. Son of Osiris can't hold off Ragnarok on his own. And this Frost was quite a good Frost. It's going to help secure this gold mine. This army is going to get picked off. We see the rest of Boit's army coming in here to help out the fight and to try to deny this Hellfort. This Hellfort, it's not going to be on time. It's going to be quite close. This ox cart is also in the wrong place, so none of the villagers are going to be able to drop off gold without walking all the way through this army, so that's not good. And this fight, though, it's going in favor of Mr. Boat. This Hellfort's going to get up. Boit's Heroic is just not on time. It's probably going to be... Like, Boit's going to be Heroic anytime soon right now. But it's too late. This army's already all dead. Boit does go through Neptune, but it's too late. All his army's dead. And he uses Ancestors and Eclipse right now, but he's got nothing to follow it up with. There's no army here to follow up the push. These soldiers and this Frost Giant is going to be enough to just take care of these minions. Mr. Boat's also making Jarls, which are going to be sufficient for defending against this Ancestors and Eclipse. That was unfortunate for boit. If he was just Heroic just a little bit sooner, then it would have made all the difference. This Ancestors and Eclipse now, it's just not enough here. It's just not enough without the help of army backing it. With his army all dead. It was maybe better to save the Ancestors to try again later, but it's not going to work now. He uses the Ancestors and he doesn't do enough damage. And Mr. Boat gets to stick on the gold mine, but one of his dwarves still remains stuck inside of it. He's also trying to mine from this other gold mine. He's mined 1,000 gold, 1,200 gold. But then now boit has built a Migdal here. He's not going to be able to mine here any longer. So he has to finish the game with his gold mine, unless he manages to push out this location. He's going to have to use this gold mine to go Mythic and go for Ragnarok. Unless he's going for a bit of a trade. He might, but I don't think that's the way to play this. I think he should be going to play this out with Ragnarok and then pushing in on this gold mine. If it's not enough. He is losing these dwarves here to a raid. But he's got 70 villagers. That should be a pretty decent Ragnarok. Since boit went for this heavy classic fight without much investment in eco, even though it is 18 minutes in game, boit isn't actually too developed economically, so the 70 villager Ragnarok should be quite potent. He doesn't even have close to the food to go Mythic now, and he's making all these Jarls. He's choosing to fight in this location. Well, I'm not sure about fighting here. He's fighting right under the Migdal with the Pharaoh there. The Pharaoh focusing down the Frost Giant. I'm not sure why he needs to fight here. He's not going to win this fight, I feel like. Maybe he's afraid that eventually boits would push him into this town center with these units, but just let him push then. I mean, if he's fighting under your town center, then you're at an advantage. You don't need to charge in here and try to fight under this Migdol, which is now not going too well for Mr. Boat. He doesn't have that defender's advantage, and he is fighting under Migdol from fire. Ooh, actually, this fight looks a bit better for Mr. Boat than I thought it would be. It's quite a risky fight. It's only going fairly evenish. He piles up all his units here, and I feel like he could have just gone for a safe Ragnarok. Not sure where this army is going. These villagers. So he's moved a bunch of doors off of this gold mine, and he's moving down to this gold mine here. But it looks like Boit doesn't have vision of it. He doesn't know that Mr. Boat is going to be mining here. And he does fend off this attack, and I think it was about an even if trade. Maybe slightly favorable for Boit here. This attack from Mr. Boat, and he's going mythic through Osiris. He doesn't have the Pharaoh though. I believe he lost his Pharaoh in the scuffle here. So he won't test Son of Osiris immediately. He won't be able to push. So maybe Meteor was better for Boit because he doesn't have his Son of Osiris immediately to help out. I feel like maybe Meteor is better. Should really have vision on this gold mine though. Like just maybe an obelisk or something. Like this is an important gold mine. There's this gold mine and there's this gold mine, but then if you this gold mine's running out, and then this isn't a gold mine that you can fight for so reliably. So you should also be trying to control this gold mine. At least have vision, so you know what your opponent's doing on it. He's now fighting for a bit of a push on Mr. Boat, but then there's the watchtower here to help defend. And I'm not sure how this push will end. I guess it makes sense to try to push here. But, without the Son of Osiris and all these units, it looks like the push... it looks like the push isn't going as well as it could be. The important thing now is to make sure this catapult stays up to do enough damage in this location before Mr. Boat goes for Ragnarok and ends the game with it. It's smart for Boit to fight as much as he can now, because the more units Mr. Boat loses, the harder it is for him to go for Ragnarok. He's got Champion Spearmen now. He's also got a couple barracks here. He also should be upgrading his Axemen. He's got the Pharaoh upgrade for extra Pharaoh health. City of the Dead. Always get this if you're playing Isis and you go for Osiris. You always get this upgrade, because it also makes your Son of Osiris a lot tankier. 50 Shades says, I don't think Rag can win this. We'll see. You see Mr. Boat, he almost has the resources to go Mythic. He's so close. He's so close to going for this Ragnarok now. But then he is getting harassed everywhere. He's got 91 villagers. He's being harassed everywhere by Boit. He's fighting for this gold mine now. This gold mine's running out. Boit has found out about this gold mine here. And Mr. Boat, he is building a hill fort, but there's only one throwing axeman here. It's not going to be enough. And if Mr. Boat loses these doors, Ragnarok's going to be so much weaker. See the catapult mowing down this town center here. And this Son of Osiris, all these units here. Mr. Boat just doesn't have the army to push out here. Where is all his population? He's got a bunch of units here. They've got okay upgrades. He's got his Jarls here. He's trying to fight for this gold mine, but it looks like this town center, it's not going to survive. But looking at the resources, Boit is halfway Baldur. So he is going to have Ragnarok. And I'm not sure how well Boit can survive it. He's got plenty of barracks, but then does he have the Axeman upgrades? He doesn't have the tower spam going to defend his town centers. So I'm not sure. I'm really not sure by how well Boit can actually hold the Ragnarok. The Jarl's coming in now. They're picking up the villagers, which is very nice. And this town center comes down for Mr. Boat. But this town center isn't going to matter when Mr. Boat goes for Ragnarok. He has to now just keep as many of these villagers alive as possible for that powerful Ragnarok.
Skipan?
The Jarls coming in, but then the Spearmen are here to counter the Jarls. So the Jarls have picked off a lot of villagers. So now, right now, Boit's only got 68 villagers. He is replacing the villagers now. Oh, but Boit's eco is so weak. He doesn't have enough resources to spam Axemen. He spent all of those resources on Spearmen and taking that. Now he's spending his resources and taking this town center. He's got no resources. He's got no resources to defend this Ragnarok. If he had resources, he could be spamming Axemen right now, and he could be walling up, he could be towering up. But he's got literally nothing. He's got nothing. These Ragnarok heroes, they've got decent upgrades. They've got tier 2 damage ups and tier 2 pierce upgrades, which are the important ones. There's going to be no Axemen to defend this. Boit's gold deco is so bad. He's running away from this gold mine now, but then he doesn't control this gold mine. He doesn't control this gold mine. How's he going to get gold? He's not going to be able to make Axemen. This game's looking so close. He does have a bit of gold left here. He's got 463 gold left in his base. I'm not sure if he noticed it. He needs to mine it up. And he's going to be maybe selling some resources to be able to make Axemen. The Ragnarok heroes are coming now. This gold mine's overwhelmed. Boit's mining the last he can from it, but these villagers, they're all going to drop. This place is not going to last. These villagers are now making a cross-country across the map to this gold mine. But this gold mine, it's not safe. I don't think Boit's going to be able to mine it. He's making towers here on this town center, but is that really the best use of resources? These towers, 200 gold apiece. Maybe it's better to make more Axemen. You can make like 7 Axemen for each tower. Surely that's better than making a tower. The Axemen here, they're heavy Axemen. There are only 4 of them, and then there's this huge army of heroes of Ragnaroks. There's like 30 of them to fight for Axemen, and Boit has no resources to make Axemen. He's finally queuing Axemen, but he's just got nothing. He's got no resources. He is making that sneaky mining here. And does Mr. Boat know about it? I don't know if Mr. Boat knows about it. Yeah, this ox cart has no line of sight. He doesn't know that he's mining here. But then the Pharaoh gives it away. The Pharaoh, he gives it away by attacking this ox cart. Oh no. The Pharaoh gives this location away. And then now, Mr. Boat, he knows that Boit is here. All he has to do is send these 9 Hero of Ragnaroks over here. As soon as he notices, he sees the mining camp from the Fog of War. He gives this Pharaoh. He automatically attack this ox cart. That's like, that's really bad. While this town center is going down, Boit's trying to Axemen. He's got all the Spearmen here to try and defend it, but it's really not enough units. Really shouldn't even be fighting this. You'd be pulling everyone back and defending his main TC. There's no way this town center was going to stay up. And why isn't Mr. Boat going for this? Mr. Boat is finally retreating his army, and he's going back to this gold mine. He's being chased by 5 Axemen, but then with 9 Hero Ragnaroks and the Son of Osiris nearly dead, this is going to be a good raid on this gold mine. And the Hero Ragnaroks right now, they're moving on. Mr. Boat sees it and he's sending more reinforcements from his army. He's still got 255 population left from his Ragnarok. Son of Osiris is going down. All these villagers are going down. The Axemen are clearing out the few Ragnarok heroes quite well. But all these village laborers, they're not gathering anymore, and this location is going down, and Boit is completely out of gold. There's absolutely no gold left for Boit. Ooh, what an exciting game. This location now, it's definitely going to fall now that all these Ragnarok heroes are here. Now the main base is getting harassed by these Ragnarok heroes. I'm not sure if he can just dive in right now. Maybe he can, because Boit is hurting so bad in resources. He's got no gold at all. He's still trying to make barracks. And he's only got like 84 population left. While Mr. Boat's got 220. He moves in now. Boit has set up some extra towers on this town center. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough for all these Ragnarok heroes. We just play on play fast. It's over. This is over. With all these Ragnarok heroes coming in. Boit's on 60 population. There's no way he's going to be able to hold. This trade route is very, very sad. Very, very sad trade route. So Mr. Boat takes the second game. So it's 1-1 so far. It's 1-1. Okay. So that was a very exciting game. At first, it looked like Mr. Boat was just going to win without any problems because Boit went for a bit of a classic fight. Mr. Boat had a good fight, won and came out ahead, but then he had a bad fight after that, and then it looks like Boit was going to just come out a bit ahead, and he managed to set up a nice siege and push on this location. But when Ragnarok came, he absolutely did not have any gold. He didn't manage to secure this gold mine, and this gold mine, there was no way that this was going to be secured. So Boit had no gold to defend Ragnarok. Even though it wasn't the strongest Ragnarok, it was quite late Ragnarok. With the gold mines, Boit just wasn't able to hold it off. And also, it looks like Mr. Boat has quite a decent trade, actually. I missed that. He's got quite a few ox caravans, but they're only like getting 43 gold apiece. But these ox caravans, yeah, they're good income for this Ragnaroking Norse. Okay, time to move on to the next game. Game 3. Looks like it's going to be Zeus against Odin. So Boit switching it up back to Zeus against Mr. Boat's Odin. The map is going to be Watering Hole. Yeah. We actually saw Zeus in the first game, 50 Shades. Saw Zeus. I see the Wedgered Eye on the map, and the Sistrum of Bast. Both pretty decent relics.
Yeah?
In terms of scouting, it looks like Mr. Boat's going to scout the middle first, while Boit, he scouted the side a bit, and then he's going to scout the middle. He's also scouting with his pigs, which is always a smart thing to do. You always want to scout with your pigs. The starting hunt is quite small, so he's chosen to not go for the regular 5 villagers on food build order. He's only put 4 here, though I would personally go even smaller. Only put 3, since there's only 3 gazelle here. And he's going for wood after that. Well, Mr. Boat, he's used Great Hunt, so he's got more animals here. But he hasn't got as many pigs. So he didn't use Great Hunt on the pigs, I think. Or maybe he only had 1 and he used it. I'm not sure. But he has quite a good amount of starting hunt. So the starting hunt is going to last a while for Mr. Boat. And after he finishes these gazelle, he's also going to be able to move to the rhino. There's also 3 pigs here, so that's going to be more food for him when he finds it. Maybe he'll find the pigs down here. There's some giraffe here, so it's a lot of animals. Very high hunt map. We see Boit going really wood heavy. Ooh, I'm not sure about this build. He's got 4 villagers on wood already, and this villager looks like this villager looks like he's not going to be chopping too efficiently. Like after he finishes this chopping this wood, he's going to have to walk all the way around this tree. This villager is also walking a long distance as well. I really don't like these 4 villagers on wood as Boit. I'm not sure why he's got 4 villagers on wood. Meanwhile, for Mr. Boat, he's scouted quite deep into the middle, so he knows where the town centers are. He sees all the hunts in the middle. He knows about these 2 elephants, and he also knows about the hunts here. He doesn't see a second gold mine though. So looking at this map for Mr. Boat, it's actually a bit scary for him because he's got this forward gold mine, and he doesn't know where his second gold is yet. He actually has a quite nice second gold here, but he doesn't know about it yet. And Boit doesn't know about the gold mine of Mr. Boat since he scouted more of his side of the map first, which I think is a fun thing to do. He doesn't have to see his Mr. Boat side of the map yet. And maybe he might choose to be playing more aggressive once he sees the gold mine of Mr. Boat. But this gold, but with this build order, I feel like Boit's not going to be able to play too aggressive. See nice micro down here, taking down the rhino with 5 villagers. But right now, he's going to be blocked on food. He's not going to have enough food to make the next village here. So he had to idle his town center a bit because of this crappy gold order. Really, why does he have four in wood and then 3 on gold? Like there's just not enough food. Just bad build order, boy. Come on. Well, Mr. Boat, he's doing fine. He's also decided to wall off this location. I think it's a smart choice. He does scout the gold mine now. So he picks this spark position. He'll scout this gold mine, so he knows that this wall, like, if Boit chooses to go Hermes, it'll be quite nice for protecting against the Centaur. The Centaur could run down from this side. Mr. Boat hasn't scouted the side of the water, so he doesn't know if it's open or not. This will also stop like early Centaurs from moving in from the forward direction into this hunt spot with 2 rhinos. That's a lot of food. Finally fixes the off cart position. And now Boit sees this starting gold mine. It's actually not that exposed with this front tower, but then it's definitely rushable since it's a forward gold mine. Like, and you have like some toxitates. Maybe you can camp some toxitates down here near this forest, and then you can shoot at this gold mine. But now he also scouts the second gold mine. And now if I see the second gold mine as Boit, then maybe I think twice about trying to play aggressive, because this, like, denying both of these gold mines can be quite tricky. He also hasn't scouted here, so he doesn't know if there are any gold mine here or anything. It's also scouts another gold mine here. And interestingly, he turns around instead of scouting out this corner. I'm not sure why he's turned around. And right now we see Boit aging up through Athena. He's also got this one villager on the temple. It's going to make houses. And I think Boit's going to try to play quite aggressive now that he sees this gold mine. He hasn't got hand axe yet. Is he getting it? I'm not sure if he'll get hand axe. It's not really completely necessary for playing Athena. While Mr. Boat's sort of walling up his side. And just like, he's going Freya, so he's going to be able to harass Boit a bit. He's also scouting with the Ravens now. He wasn't able to scout as much as the Zeus player in the arcade cage, because his scout also needs to build. He doesn't have a full-time scout, but then right now with the Ravens, he is getting a good view of the map. He's going to be able to see a lot of it. He's got a very defensive setup. Maybe he'll go for, like, looking at his resources, I feel like maybe he'll try to go for a fast 2-town center, which, judging by this first skill, is he going there? Like, this fast 2-town center might be a bit iffy. No, he's not. He's going for the longhouse. I think that's the right play here. You don't want to be too greedy with the town centers as Norse, since you're so vulnerable to being rushed.
Tilbúin?
Wow, so they both hit classical age at exactly the same time. You see Boit being very, very, very aggressive right now. He's got the 2 forward military academies and the archery range right in the middle of the map. And Mr. Boat, he's sent his ravens to scout the side like this. So he doesn't actually know about this this forward building here. Yeah, this is Boit. I am Boit. Yeah, this is Boit. Yeah, so this is Boit vs Mr. Boat. So right now we see Boit, he's going for a bit of an Athena rush. He's got these 2 military buildings down here, and Mr. Boat has no clue about it. But Mr. Boat, he does have the 2 longhouses, so he's going to be able to make army. But he's not spending his resources on making army yet, for some reason. He's making an armory, so maybe he might want to go for a fast heroic or something. But he really needs the army right now to defend these hoplites coming in, and he's got no clue that they're there. He's got no clue. Looking at eco-ups, he's got just pickaxe, which is fine. And Boit, he's got hand axe and pickaxe, and husbandry as well. You also see that there's no bolt left for Boit, and there's no Valkyrie for Mr. Boat, so I think I missed that, but Boit, I think Boit bolted the Valkyrie to stop a raid. And right now, maybe this would be a valuable forest fire to sort of cut Boit's wood income. But it's sort of a bit late. You want to forest fire while he's getting these buildings up because it really screws his wood income right when he needs it the most. Now we see Boit. He's finally chosen to review the army. Mr. Boat doesn't know where this army is being built from, though. He doesn't know that Boit has built so aggressively in the middle of the map. But he sees his walls coming down, and then this spot is no longer safe to hunt. But then he's already finished the hunt here, and he's going to try to move to the hunt here. Or maybe he's going to try to go on the pigs. I definitely make an effort to go for this hunt, since I can see where this army is. And then now, if you look at the resources, Mr. Boat is hoarding all these resources, presumably because he's trying to go for a fast heroic. But then against this army, it's not going to happen. You can't make a fast heroic against all these hoplites, otherwise you're going to lose your whole base. So he really needs to be upping the soldier production. He's making throwing axemen. Throwing axemen train so slow. You're going to be able to counter the hoplites, but they train so slow. And then we see restoration being cast by Boit. That's going to win him the fight, and he's going to be pushed back on this location. This tower is going to go down, then this house is going to go down, this temple is going to go down, and these toxotes are going to be shooting at the gold mine. So this is really tight spot for Mr. Boat. It's looking good for Boit. Yep, it's looking good. This tower is going to go down. Mr. Boat just doesn't have the army. He needs to really rush as many soldiers as he can. Like maybe he should turn on the Ulstars production. Maybe even make Allsparks out of the TC. He needs as many soldiers as he can. He can't have these resources sitting in the bank right now. He really needs as many soldiers as he can to repel this push. This army, I don't think it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we see Boit. He's spending all his resources on army. He's got this stronger army right now. Mr. Boat still has this useful watchtower, but then these toxotes, they can just camp here and shoot at this gold mine. And now the temple is being taken down. This is really looking good for Boit right now. He's throwing axemen, not in position to attack the hoplites. He'll be right down here, trying to make sure the hoplites aren't touching the temple. And now the temple goes down. Mr. Boat does have enough gold to go heroic, but this gold mine now, well, it's not. It's looking tough. He's going through Scabby, so is Frost going to be enough to save him? I don't know. This gold mine now is being mined. Boit doesn't have vision of it, but then he can probably sense that since there's no more miners here, they must be moving somewhere else. And this gold mine seems a likely candidate, so he's moving these soldiers here. He hasn't scouted this location here, which is a bit of a mistake. I think he should have scouted it to make sure there's no gold mine here. But he's fortunate that there's no gold mine here as well. Now it looks like Mr. Boat is being gold star. Now he's trying to hang on to this gold mine with gatherers. But he's only got 60 population to Boit's 85 population. Boit says he knows the location of all the gold mines. Hold up. Let me see. No, he doesn't. You haven't even scouted your own side. You don't know if you don't know if this is all the gold mines on the map. Boit doesn't know where all the gold mines are. He doesn't. He doesn't know that there's a gold mine here. But then you can kind of guess that there's no gold mine here if he went here. Maybe like if he went down to this gold mine, you can guess that. Maybe he'd probably go here if there was a gold mine here instead. He doesn't actually have that much of the map scouted. He's still missing a pretty big chunk. He's got the Catascopus in his army. I can't say that's wrong. Well, this Catascopus is here now, but this Catascopus is a good damage tank. And now we see the soldiers being picked off for Boit. He's got 8 toxotes. Only 2 gold mines spawn in the base. Huh? Is that new? I wasn't aware that watering hole on EE only has 2 gold mines. Was that part of Hagrid's changes? Like I see a watering hole on 2.6 a lot of the time spawn with 3 gold mines in your base. But maybe 2.7 has reduced that to only 2. I scouted these 2 gold mines though.
Πρόσταγμα ετοίμος.
Anyway, now Mr. Boat has Frost. across this army. And he's going to be able to kill a significant chunk of it, but then he's just so behind in population. And Boyd is beefing up the pressure. Like, I'm not sure if this Frost is going to be enough. Boyd says, I mean, I could be wrong. Apparently there are 300 changes between 2.6 and 2.7. I'm actually not sure about the maps. I haven't looked at the maps too much. Hi, Garaki. So right now, Frost is cast on Boyd's army. But like, this Frost, it's not doing enough. These soldiers, they aren't being killed. Boyd's still doing a good job picking off all these units with his toxitates. And the population gap, it's not closing. In fact, Mr. Boat's losing population while Boyd is keeping his population steady. And then Boyd's just going to have a much bigger army. He's going to be able to push on this gold mine. And this gold mine, he's being scouted. So, oh, this looks so scary. This looks really scary for Mr. Boat. You see the watchtower here is doing work, but then the population difference is so big. Like, this is Mr. Boat's army. He's only got like these 8 units, while Boyd's army has like 4 times as many units. It's just so hard for Mr. Boat to defend this right now. And he gets pushed off this gold mine again. He might try for this gold mine, but then Boyd has done a good job putting a scout go post there to make sure that this area doesn't get mined for free. Now we see Mr. Boat moving his wood villagers over to this gold mine, but it's going to get spotted by the Catastropos. And Mr. Boat actually takes the score lead, but that's a bit misleading because I think he took the score lead because of how much wood he has, and he's not going to be able to use that wood for much. He really wants to get the hill fort up, but now he doesn't have Frost anymore. It's going to be hard. Without Frost, he's not going to be able to get the hill fort up. These toxitates here, they're still being very annoying and they're pressuring the gold mine here while this main bulk of the army is make sure the bottom isn't being mined. And Boyd's doing a very good job microing and making sure he's not taking a fight here where he would lose too many units. He splits his army very well. He's pushing in on this location. It's very nicely done by Boyd. He is missing the medium upgrades, but then he's just got so much more army than Mr. Boat. Mr. Boat's not able to hold on. Like, if he got medium upgrades, that would be even scarier, but it looks like he doesn't even need them. He has the hoplite bolt hanging down here. Like, they could be pushing in here, but it doesn't really matter. And this gold mine finally runs out. And Mr. Boat, he's got no way to get gold now. He has to fight. That's his army. He's in no shape to fight, but he has to fight to get gold. If he doesn't, he's not going to be able to get gold. So this is a final last-ditch attempt for Mr. Boat. He sends everyone down here. He tries to get the hill fort up, but no, there's too many soldiers here. There's too many units. All these villagers now. This is going to be a big fight. You see the line upgrades coming in for Boyd. No, he doesn't have the line upgrades. He's got so many units here. I don't think Mr. Boat's going to be able to hold on. You see all the villagers getting picked off. Population is over 100 for Boyd, and it's only 75 for Mr. Boat. Everything looks like he's in shambles for Mr. Boat. These villagers are trying to help him in the fight, but then they're just so fragile with only 60 HP. Just getting picked off like flies, like by the toxitates. And Mr. Boat has nothing left now. He's only got 40 population and it keeps on dropping. He's losing everything here. This is absolutely devastating. Looks like it's game over. It's game over. It's over. It's a very nice Athena rush by Boyd. And Mr. Boat taps out. Wow, that was a very nice Athena rush. So it looks like Boyd takes the win over Mr. Boat, 2-1. Exciting games. Well played. This is a very nice Athena rush. Yeah. All right, so Well, the purpose of the stream today was to watch these games, but it looks like I have quite a few viewers here. I've got almost 10 viewers, and that's a lot for me. I usually only get like 3. So, is there anything I should do right now? Maybe. Let's see who else is streaming Age of Mythology. Well, it looks like I'm the only streamer right now. Actually, there's one thing I want to check. It's about the gold mines on Watering Hole. I want to have a quick look at the spawns for Watering Hole on 1v1s for 2.7. Yeah, okay, so Boit says he's wrong about that, but then, I mean, you are my next opponent. You are my next opponent in the... You are my next opponent in EE League, so I just want to make sure that you're not misleading me, you know, because you are my opponent. I do have to see. Yeah, okay. It can be 3 gold mine spawn on the side for Watering Hole. Like, this is a really high gold spawn. Now let's get another seed. Yeah, this looks like 2 gold mines. Oh, actually, yeah, this is 2 gold mines. Yeah, so, oh wait, no, this is 3 gold mines? Yeah, this looks like it's 3 gold mines. So yeah, it definitely can be 3 gold mines, but then from that map, we also see that it can be 2 gold mines where Watering Hole spawn. It can be 2 gold mines spawn. Abyss Onion, I was streaming Boit against mrboat, but then we finished the games. 3 very lovely games. So I'm not sure what's good to stream now. I'm gonna have a look in the tournament Discord and see what other games are being posted. I don't really want to look over my own games at this point. I want to wait until the end of the tournament before I look over my own games. Alright, so I'm gonna end the stream now. I don't really see what other content I can be what other content I can be showing, so I don't know. I'll just check quickly. There's maybe a 1v1 being hosted. Can I stream Sword of Carla vs Boit right now? No. I'm not gonna play Boit now, and that gets me to it. I should really be scheduling with you, Boit. So let's talk about scheduling. Yeah, actually, it'll be better to do that over Discord. Well, I'm free like every day basically, and my hours are quite flexible. Like, but then it, like if like I don't actually want to play too soon. Yeah, next week is better for me as well. All right, so against Machiavelli, I played at 1:30 GMT in the morning. I could play like I can play like every day at that time. I can also play earlier than that if that's necessary, and then I go to sleep at like about 2 or 3 hours from now. Yeah, I understand. I'm really flexible with my times, so but it's like yeah, I can play every day really. You want to play now? You mean this time now, or okay? So yeah, this time should work okay for me. So maybe we can play that next week. Um, the 17th or 18th. This time, like 6 or 7 days from now, maybe Tuesday. So that would be 6 days from now. Okay. So I'm just gonna post it in the chat. That's 10 a.m. GMT, right? Yeah. Okay, so that sounds good. Yeah. If any viewer wants to play some casual games, like maybe you can hop on now. I can play anything. I can even play deathmatch if like we have a deathmatch player in the viewers. But I'm not very good at deathmatch. But I know that like with the recent deathmatch tournaments getting hosted, there are like deathmatch getting quite a following now. Okay, see ya, boy. So anybody want to come on and play a few games? Oh, I should change the name of the stream now. Okay, so I think we're gonna have to go on 2.6 to find games. Most people are not really there on 2.7. I could also look at recorded games. If anybody in the chat has a recorded game that they want to show me, I'd be glad to look over it now while I'm still streaming. Yes, 50 Shades. Let's play. That'd be perfect for the stream. Come right on. Okay, so I guess I'll switch back to 2.7 then. I'm going to be playing some scrim games against 50 Toxitaries of Tox only. Yep, okay, I see the invite. Oh no, you're on 2.6. So do you want to play on 2.6? Because I feel like I'd rather play on 2.7. Wait, you're on 2.7? What? Oh no, I'm on 2.6. Oh, okay. I thought it was on 2.7. Alright, let's do this 50 Shades. You playing me? What should I play against you? What do people want to see me play and struggle with? What should I play? Let's have a look at the challenge bracket. Okay, so you're going to play against Good Old Shoes or Jashman, and then after that, if you win, you're going to play against Mr. Boat, who plays a lot of Odin. So I'm going to go Odin now. I play Odin a little bit differently from Mr. Boat, but then you can try this. Yeah. Odin against Hades. Maybe I should be afraid of Athena much, like,
Tilbúin,
what
hver
this
er það?
gets Mr. Boat.
Satt. Ég vil, maður. Ég vil. Skipan, ég vil. Skipan,
I don't have any pigs to use Great Hunt on. Makes me a bit sad. I'm not getting full value of Great Hunt if I just use it on these gazelles. Because it's only... These gazelles are only 450 food. Like total, so Great Hunt can multiply 750 food, so I'm not going to use Great Hunt here. There's also the elephant down here, but the elephant's not really safe, so I don't want a Great Hunt that either. I don't have any good Great Hunt targets at the moment.
Já,
Sveit. It's lagging a bit.
Tilbúin, tilbúin, já. Skipan,
I also don't have any goats to, pigs to scout this corner of the map, which is a bit unfortunate. It's going to be a bit inefficient scouting with my Ulf here. Okay, I find a pig. Found the first pig. That's nice. Okay. I think I'll be happy getting 3 pigs in a rhino.
Já, samþykkt.
There's also quite a bit of hunt here.
Tilbúin.
Make a house, right?
Skipan.
Skipan? Já. Ég vil. Veiðimaður. Ég vil. Veiðimaður.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Já. Ég vil. Veiðimaður.
Yeah, my idle sound isn't working. You need to fix that. Okay.
Skipan.
We're back.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Skipan samþykkt. Ég vil. Veiðimaður.
Skipan. Ég vil.
Tilbúin.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Ég vil.
Yeah, it's not the
Skip,
worst.
yes,
This
yes.
elephant's quite so tanky.
Já.
The guy to target the ox cart there, which is nice. It's better than him targeting the... It's better than him targeting the... What's it? This ox cart is much tankier.
Hver það?
I'm going to build my temple right here in front of the gold mine so that protect it from toxicity harass from this side. And I'm going to build more buildings in front of it. Protect it even more.
Skipan.
Skipan mrboat.
Tilbúin. Ég vil.
Skipan?
I'm going to be advancing a little bit late. And I know 50 Shades, he likes to make these forward buildings and harass me. With toxicities. So he's going to be able to do that without any problems with staying.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Timbursveit.
Ég vil. Skipan. Já, ég vil.
I feel like I made a few too many doors. 6 doors is a bit too much for the arcade page.
Já, samþykkt.
This is a pretty late age up. I'm going to get eco ups there. Well, the age up. That bit better than economy. I don't actually have a safe golden mine if I take this town center. I mean, this is all pots here, so it's a bit tempting to try and take it. I think I'm probably going to be just staying on one town center.
Ég vil samþykkt.
And this elephant is no longer safe to hunt. I see advance. I have to back off. Pulse of Argus, good relic. I want it.
Tilbúin. Hver þar? Veiðimaður. Ég vil.
Hver þar?
Hver þar?
Tilbúin. Já.
It's like, I'm getting called out by the Ajax. I don't want to take too much damage. I just want to retreat. Nice thing about playing against Hades and not Zeus is that he doesn't have bolts, so my Valkyrie is going to be able to get some harassing. Decent harassing.
Skipan, já.
Hver vil.
Skipan, já.
He's going for a 5-second CC, it seems. I think I might want to get my own forward town center. Maybe this town center would be good.
Já.
Skipan?
Hver það?
I'm going to grab this forward town center then. There's also the elephant here.
Tilbúin,
Since he's doing 2 town center, should be able to get it.
samþykkt. Skipan, já. Samþykkt. Skipan, samþykkt.
Skipan. Ég vil.
Já. Skipan,
I'm going for all starts here instead of raiding cavalry. because they train faster. He's also got a military academy, so I'm not sure this is going to be all
tilbúin,
that
ég vil.
or if they train armor.
Skipan.
I'm housed. I need to make a house.
Tilbúin.
Tilbúin.
Já, ég vil.
Skipan. Já.
He's also got the Minotaur here to defend, so I think I won't be able to defend here. I don't want him to lead. I don't want to lead him to my castle for those, so I'm going to actually run this Valkyrie around this direction. He's got the Chiron. So my Valkyrie's going to be taking a bit of damage, but that's okay. His Chancellor's going to be up. I don't need to make all sorts anymore.
Tilbúin. Samsagt.
I'm trying to make more raiding cavalry.
Skipan satt. Tilbúin, já.
Skipan.
And then hopefully there's a lord.
Skipan satt.
Veiðimaður. Center.
Skipan.
Já. Samþykkt. Já. Samþykkt. Ég vil.
Tilbúin veiðimaður.
Já. Samþykkt.
Skipan satt.
Skipan. Tilbúin. Tilbúin. Já. Samþykkt.
Veiðimaður.
Ég vil.
Skipan samþykkt.
Veiðimaður. Hver er þar? Samþykkt.
Hver er þar? Já, samþykkt.
Skipan. Ég vil. Já.
So he's picked up the Polar Vargas relic. Should have a chain. I wanted that relic. Oh, he's also hunting down here. Okay. Looks like a fight might happen now. Fight for the sun.
Skipan veiðimaður.
Hver er þar?
And one other thing, take these elephants. Man, that's really greedy. He's hunting right under me.
Já. Samþykkt. Hver er
I
þar?
have
Já.
medium
Samþykkt.
units. Should be able to fight him.
Skipan. Samþykkt.
I'm a bit weary about it.
Hver er
He's got
þar?
these
Já.
strong heroes on the Minotaur.
Skipan samþykkt. Skipan. Ég vil. Já, ég vil. Sækið fram.
Skipan. Satt.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Getting house.
Já, ég vil. Skipan. Ég vil. Tilbúin.
Hver er þar? Já. Samþykkt.
Veiðimaður.
Ég vil. Já, skipan. Ég vil.
Skipan. Hver er þar?
Samþykkt. Tilbúin. Ég vil. Samþykkt.
Hver er þar?
Já.
Tilbúin. Já. Ég vil.
Tilbúin. Ég vil.
Tilbúin. Ég samþykkt. Tilbúin. Ég vil. Hver er þar? Samþykkt. Hver er
I'm
þar?
gonna wait for
Hver
a
er þar?
fight for a fight.
Ótsveit.
Skipan, já.
Skipan. Já. Samþykkt. Hver er þar? Skipan. Samþykkt.
Something is happening.
Skipan. Já.
Skipan. Ég vil. Ég vil. Já.
Oh man, he's got this beautiful triple one.
Já. Já.
Oh man,
Skipan.
looks like it might be a tough fight.
Hver er þar? Ég samþykkt.
Hver er veiðimaður?
Ég vil. Já. Já.
Oh, not a good fight for me. Not a good fight for me.
Tilbúin.
You can get shaft mine.
Ég samþykkt. Já. Já.
Hver
It
er
wasn't a good
þar?
fight.
Tilbúin. Já. Tilbúin. Ég vil.
Ugh.
Tilbúin. Satt. Ég vil.
I did get him to use restoration, which is nice.
Tilbúin.
Hver er þar? Hver er þar? Ég vil. Satt.
He should also be on the second gold line, so I'm gonna try raid.
Samþykkt.
I'm gonna try raid this area down here.
Já, ég vil. Já, ég vil.
Ég vil. Timbursveit.
Skipan.
Já. Samþykkt. Ég vil.
Já. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Satt.
Tilbúin. Ég vil.
And I'm here.
Já, samþykkt. Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Hver er þar?
Já. Ég vil. Ég vil.
Samþykkt. Já. Já, ég vil. Ég vil. Samþykkt. Sækið fram.
Skipan.
Já,
Hver er
timbursveitir.
þar? Skipan
Oh
tilbúin.
my god.
Samþykkt. Ég vil.
How many food incomes so shit? Until this upgrade, I can't really afford it.
Tilbúin. Hver er þar?
Tilbúin. Já. Ég vil.
Ég vil timbursveit.
Já, skipan. Ég vil. Veiðimaður. Skipan. Ég
Já.
vil.
Hver er þar? Já, skipan.
Já. Samþykkt. Tilbúin.
Where is he even mining? Is he mining here? No, the lions could have attacked him.
Ég vil.
Oh, he's getting his town center here.
Já, samþykkt. Til orustu slag.
Holy shit.
Tilbúin. Hver er þar?
Tilbúin. Ég vil.
Okay, so there's a gold mine there, I guess.
Ég vil. Samþykkt.
Tilbúin. Hver er þar?
Ég vil. Já. Samþykkt.
My frost isn't going to be up in time to
Já,
deny
ég vil.
this.
Samþykkt. Ég vil. Já.
Já. Skipan. Já. Samþykkt.
I guess I
Tilbúin.
should just build now.
Skipan.
Going out here.
Tilbúin. Veiðimaður. Samþykkt. Já, ég vil.
Tilbúin. Já. Samþykkt.
Ég vil. Timbursveit.
Já, samþykkt.
Samþykkt. Já. Samþykkt.
Hver er þar? Samþykkt.
Skipan.
Tilbúin. Skipan. Tilbúin. Ég vil. Já. Tilbúin. Já. Ég vil. Já. Skipan.
Ég vil. Já.
Já. Ég vil. Já. Já.
Ride.
Fram. Tilbúin.
Hver er það? Ég vil. Hver er samþykkt? Satt.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Samþykkt.
Skipan. Ég vil.
No, my gold is
Já,
being
samþykkt.
Tilbúin.
my gold is being pressured now.
Hver er þar? Samþykkt. Já, samþykkt. Já, samþykkt.
Já.
You go
Samþykkt.
down here and pressure his gold in return.
Skipan. Samþykkt.
Já. Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Já. Samþykkt. Já. Hver er það? Rómsveit.
Já, til samþykkt. Já, ég vil.
So much to do.
Til orustu slag.
Skipan. Já. Samþykkt. Já. Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Skipan. Ég vil. Satt. Já. Samþykkt. Ég vil. Satt. Ég vil.
Já, ég vil. Satt.
Tilbúin.
Já. Samþykkt.
Skipan.
Samþykkt.
Hver er þar?
Want to force all his army down here for a big fight. Frost him.
Já, timbursveit.
So far I've managed to knock him off gold, which is good. He's also managed to do some damage down here. I feel like this is overall good for me. Around here and
Já.
push him off
Já,
gold.
samþykkt. Tilbúin. Ég vil.
Já. Samþykkt. Já. Samþykkt. Já. Samþykkt. Samþykkt. Skipan.
Já, hver er þar?
He's got a lot more population here.
Skipan.
He's going to be mining here.
Skipan. Já.
Hver er þar?
Mispick up there.
Til samþykkt. Hver er þar?
Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Tilbúin. Ég vil. Satt. Hver er það? Satt. Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Tilbúin.
Hver er það?
Skipan. Já, Rómsveit. Satt.
Skipan. Já.
Skipan. Tilbúin. Já. Skipan. Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Já.
Army's just everywhere.
Já. Samþykkt. Tilbúin.
I'm getting the resources I need to advance.
Samþykkt.
Hver er þar? Skipan. Já.
Skipan.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Tilbúin. Satt.
Tilbúin. Já. Ég vil. Já. Ég vil.
Skipan. Ég vil. Hver er það? Samþykkt. Já. Já. Samþykkt.
No, no, he's right.
Tilbúin.
Skipan.
Já.
Skipan. Já. Samþykkt. Já. Já. Sækið orustuslag. Já.
down here.
Sækið fram.
Hver er það? Satt.
Já. Skipa. Satt. Timbursveit.
Skip, samþykkt, já, ég vil. Skip, já, orðusslag. Skip hann. Já. Já. Orðusslag, já.
Já. Ég vil. Timbursveit.
Skip, tilbúin, samþykkt, já, samþykkt. Tilbúin. Skip, já. Já, ég vil. Skip, samþykkt.
Tilbúin. Ég vil.
Skip, samþykkt. Já.
Okay, so return to mine for now. This is not probably the archer.
Já,
Move
samþykkt.
these guys down here. Maybe get a good frost in.
Samþykkt. Ég vil.
Tilbúin, samþykkt.
Já.
Hver er það? Ég vil. Satt. Samþykkt. Ég vil. Hver er það? Ég vil.
Já, að ráð. Já.
Ég vil. Samþykkt.
Timbursveit.
Já, samþykkt. Orðusslag. Tilbúin, já. Já, að ráð. Orðusslag.
Tilbúin. Satt. Ég vil. Timbursveit.
Já, samþykkt. Skip, já. Tilbúin. Já, skip, orðusslag.
My goal right now is to get harass as much as possible, so just to prevent Artemis, and then to go Ragnarok through this town somewhere, because he's not going to earthquake this town
Skip,
somewhere, because it's like,
samþykkt.
it's just too in the middle of nowhere, and it doesn't seem relevant. I'm almost ready to go mythic.
Já, sækið fram. Já,
Skip fyrir það.
He's got most of his armor here right now. I don't have anything to follow it up, so I'm just going to try to get some gear. I've got some idle soldiers just hanging around the map.
Tilbúin, já.
I could also maybe check out this location.
Já. Timbursveit. Hver er það? Ég vil. Skipa.
Já, ég vil.
Tilbúin, já.
There's so much convenience here.
Já, orðusslag.
Frost is just to freeze his economy in the sun. Maybe I'll do that.
Já, skip,
Something to be worth it. Okay, so he's also got a fortress down on this
Skipa.
location.
Timbursveit.
Let's do Artemis. Earthquake's gonna come down.
Já,
Skipa. Já. Samþykkt. Satt.
I'm making sure I don't get any soldiers. The earthquake's down here. It doesn't matter. I'm not very happy to do that one section. I use all my houses. No problem. My army's still alive, which is still good.
Ég vil.
It's good. At least they're getting And then my goal right now is to take out this area with Ragnarok.
Já. Timbursveit.
Okay. Here we go.
Já, orðusslag.
I'm not sure if it'll be enough to cut it. He's also starting to Petro siege, but it doesn't matter now that I'm through Ragnarok.
Skip, já, til orðusslag.
Got the Hypospis.
Til orðusslag.
Really want to take this
Skip,
town center.
orðusslag, já.
Then I won't be able to build on top of it though.
Já.
Incredible economy.
Yeah,
I want to take this town
orðusslag.
center. I want to go down here and take out these gold mines as well.
Til orðusslag. Skip, samþykkt, já.
Not far down. I got here more.
Já, tilbúin, já, ég samþykkt. Hver er það?
You want to fight it with these guys? I'm going to split them off to
Hver er
take
það?
time
Já,
while I take out
orðusslag. Hver er
these
það?
buildings with my other
Til
units.
samþykkt.
Já.
tilbúin. Já, samþykkt. Fyrir það. Ég vil. Já, tilbúin. Já.
I could fight this army all at once.
Til orrustuslag.
Once this fortress is down.
Fyrir það. Já, samþykkt. Ég vil. Já, samþykkt. Fyrir það. Tilbúin. Já. Til orrustuslag. Ég vil. Skiprás. Já, tilbúin. Atrás.
I don't really have good army up there.
Fyrir það. Skip. Fyrir það. Já, ég samþykkt. Satt. Skip. Til orrustuslag. Tilbúin. Tilbúin. Fyrir það. Til orrustuslag.
He's also going to be able to make visa pacifists, which is going to be so annoying.
Fyrir það. Já, samþykkt.
It costs like no gold, so my gold star strategy will be less effective against them.
Skil orrustuslag.
The academies, but it's not gonna.
Samþykkt. Fyrir það. Já, satt. Ég vil. Atrás.
He's destroyed my academy here. I should replace it and make my houses here.
Samþykkt.
Make sure he doesn't mind here.
Til orrustuslag. Fyrir það. Tilbúin. Já, satt. Ég samþykkt. Skip. Ég vil.
Sure, I have everyone down here. I can't let him mind here.
Tilbúin.
Oh no, that's like, I might not be winning this fight. Let me back out.
Já. Samþykkt. Ég vil. Tilbúin.
Ooh.
Tilbúin. Til orrustuslag. Já. Til orrustuslag. Skipan.
Hver það?
Já.
Still making an army from this location.
Fyrir það.
Oh, and he resigns. Interesting. Maybe he could hold on a bit longer, but I don't really understand the situation completely. Maybe he could have held on a bit longer. Yeah, maybe more hit past this here would have been nice. Okay. And so I was ahead in resources all game. But then he sort of, I mean, that should be expected as Norse. You should have more resources than Greek, I think. Okay. I think I'll stick with Odin again. Another game of Odin. Oh no, Mediterranean. This should be really difficult. I don't like, especially since I don't actually know a build order for Odin. But then we'll try. We'll try and see how things go. Pretty great hunt this. I can try to get it with the Aurochs. I think I just great hunt this. Okay, we have 8 pigs, so that's good.
Skip passa. Já.
Tilbúin. 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 Já.
I could go for and chop this wood down and use the offside as well to gather rocks, but I want to gather pigs because it's just like right into my town center and it's easier. Get the instant drop off.
Tilbúin. Ég vil. Samþykkt. Tilbúin. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Já, ég vil. Samþykkt. Ég vil. Já, tilbúin.
Hver er það?
Ég vil.
Samþykkt. Samþykkt. Ég vil. Já, samþykkt. Ég vil. Já, samþykkt. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Skip, ég vil. Tilbúin. Já, samþykkt. Já, ég vil. Ég vil.
Já, ég vil.
Tilbúin. Já, ég vil. Já, samþykkt. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Já, ég vil.
We're gonna go for 6 fishing ships, I think, and then we're gonna save up wood for our temple.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Samþykkt. Já, ég vil. Samþykkt. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Skip, samþykkt.
Hver er það?
Samþykkt. Ég vil. Ég vil. Skipan.
Skipan? Samþykkt. Satt. Hver er það? Samþykkt.
Já. Samþykkt. Tilbúin. Já.
I'm gonna finish off this house. Yeah. And then we're gonna make another ox cart for this other woodbine here.
Hver er þar?
Might be a bit late of an event,
Yeah.
because I don't really know what I'm doing.
Tilbúin?
Tilbúin. Já. Samþykkt. Já, ég vil.
Tilbúin?
Okay,
Yeah.
Food to age up. Food to Freya.
Tilbúin?
Já.
Já, samþykkt.
Skipan.
Wood.
Já, ég vil.
Skipan.
The second dot.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Já. Skipan.
Já,
Skipan. Ég vil.
já, ég vil. Samþykkt. Hver er þar? Tilbúin? Hver er þar? Skipan. Skipan.
It'd be really nice to have a brochure for more building, but I
Samþykkt.
also highly value getting hand axe and pickaxe.
Skipan.
Hver er
Maybe
þar?
pickaxe not so
Skipan.
much. I'm not gonna get pickaxe actually.
Já. Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
You can go for. He goes to Athena. He's gonna go for what himself.
Skipan.
Tilbúin. Já. Samþykkt.
Já, samþykkt.
Skipan. Já.
Tilbúin.
Tilbúin?
Já. Tilbúin. Skipan.
This little bit of a trade should favor us because
Tilbúin.
our longboats have more
Skipan.
attack.
Skipan. Já. Tilbúin. Skipan. Skipan.
Tilbúin. Ég samþykkt. Samþykkt.
Já.
Já. Skipan. Ég vil. Já. Skipan.
Tilbúin.
Já,
Tilbúin. Já.
Já.
Tilbúin. Tilbúin. Já.
já,
Já.
Tilbúin. Skipan. Tilbúin. Já. Tilbúin.
Samþrás. Skipan. Skipan.
Skipan.
Já. Tilbúin. Skipan. 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 Já. Skipan. Já.
We also got restoration. Might be problematic.
Skipan.
Skipan.
Skipan. Já. Skipan.
He's probably gonna use it out now. I feel like we've just got barely enough ships.
Tilbúin.
Tilbúin. Skipan.
Even if he does restoration.
Já, samþykkt.
Skipan.
Já, tilbúin. Já.
Skipan. Samþykkt. Já. Tilbúin. Já. Tilbúin. Tilbúin. Já.
Skipan. Já, samþykkt.
Skipan.
Skipan. Já.
Já. Tilbúin. 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 Skipan.
Já, samþykkt.
Tilbúin. Hver er þar?
I should be waiting for more data from this side.
Já.
Well,
Tilbúin. Já. Já.
Timbursveit. Samþykkt.
Tilbúin. Já. Já.
Já.
Tilbúin. Skipan.
Hver er þar? Hver er þar?
Tilbúin.
Já.
Skipan.
Tilbúin.
Já.
Já.
Skipan.
Timbursveit.
Skipan. Já. Skipan. Já. Skipan. Tilbúin. Tilbúin. Skipan.
Já. Skip. Já.
Tilbúin.
Samþykkt.
Skipan. Já. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Já. Skipan. Já. Skipan.
Já. Samþykkt. Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Tilbúin. Skipan. Tilbúin. Já. Ég vil. Skipan. Tilbúin.
Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Tilbúin. Skipan. Já. Skipan. Já. Já. Skipan. Já. Já. Já.
okay, I think he's got more ships than me right now.
Skipan.
So I can't really fight this.
Skipan. Já. Skipan. Já. Já.
Really tough to
Já.
fight these longer range ships.
Skipan. Skipan.
Já.
Já.
He's gonna try and grab this town center now.
Samþykkt.
I wonder if we can get any villager pickups.
Skipan. Já. Tilbúin.
This is also a good time to fight.
Skipan.
Investing all these-
Samþykkt.
Okay, looks like it gets spotted by these units.
Tilbúin. Já. Tilbúin.
I'm getting out my turret here.
Já. Hver er þar? Samþykkt. Já. Ég vil.
Já. Já.
I don't know if I can win this fight.
Já.
My ships should be stronger.
Já.
They have more attack. His ships have more range though. So these all-in fights should favor me a little bit.
Já.
Skipan. Tilbúin.
Skipan. Já. Ég vil. Samþykkt. Já. Já. Ég vil.
Tilbúin. Tilbúin. Já. Samþykkt.
Já. Já.
Skipan.
Skipan.
Já.
Tilbúin. Timbursveit. Já. Grjótsveit. Samþykkt.
Skipan. Já. Skipan.
Hver er það?
Hver er það? Ég
Já.
vil.
Já.
Tilbúin.
For now, he's
Timbursveit.
town centers. I'm on one town center. He's got no navy, so he should have a lot more land population than I do. He's building military academies on this side, so he's he might go for a bit of a push here. So I'm going to try to secure this side and grab this town center.
Tilbúin.
I don't know what his plan is exactly. I don't have vision for this town center, that's not
Já,
good.
já. Satt.
I'm going to try and steal this town center.
Tilbúin.
Tilbúin. Something.
Tilbúin.
He is Hades, so he doesn't have that boost building bonus.
Já. Tilbúin.
I keep these ships alive for as long as possible so that it's harder for them to come back on water.
Tilbúin. Já, something.
I'm going to try to
Satt.
get some aggressive docks.
Já.
Like right around here. Fishing ships here.
Tilbúin.
Really make use of the fact that I won water.
Já,
Skipan.
Mines
Já,
in
satt.
here.
Hver það? Skipan.
Samþykkt. Já. Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Tilbúin.
Tilbúin. Já, orustuslag. Já.
Skipan. Já. Orustuslag.
Já. Skipan.
Skipan. Tilbúin. Já.
Skipan.
I also want to take this town center. We need to take these town centers.
Já.
I think I'm also
Hver er það? Ég vil.
Hver það?
make use of this hunting. This hunt spots.
Skipan. Já. Tilbúin. Samþykkt. Já.
Samþykkt. Já. Ég vil. Já. Tilbúin. Já. Skipan. Ég vil. Tilbúin. Já. Ég vil.
Hver það? Já. Tilbúin. Samþykkt.
Já. Tilbúin. Satt. Já.
Ég vil sveit.
Tilbúin. Já. Timbursveit.
Hver þar? Hver það?
Skipan.
Skipan.
Tilbúin.
Skipan. Tilbúin. Já. Samþykkt.
Skipan.
Hver er þar? Skipan.
Tilbúin.
Where's my armory? Do I have an armory yet?
Samþykkt.
No, I don't. Okay. Don't make an armory so I can advance.
Já. Samþykkt.
Hver það? Já. Satt. Já. Til orustuslag. Já. Hver það? Samþykkt.
Tilbúin.
Já. Tilbúin. Hver það? Já. Samþykkt. Já. Ég vil.
Advance through. Should go north.
Tilbúin. Já. Samþykkt. Já.
Já. Samþykkt. Tilbúin. Tilbúin. Skipan.
Hver er þar?
Tilbúin.
Skipan?
Já. 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 Tilbúin?
Hver þar?
Okay, so I'm gonna try to figure out what went wrong for 50. Yeah.
Έτοιμη. Πρόσταγμα.
6 on wood. Ooh, that's a big mistake.
Λέγε.
I'm gonna idle the TC a bit.
Πρόσταγμα.
6 on wood, sometimes it's a bit hard to get 430 with 6 on wood, but I guess you still can get 430.
Λέγε.
Okay. Got 6 on gold. Usually only go for 5 on gold, but I guess it's fine to have 6 on gold. Let's go for the early age rounds. I guess that's why I go 6 on gold. Make sure you have that enough resources for this early age rounds.
Πρόσταγμα.
Okay, yeah, here, this is, he gets kited in quite deep, which is not good. He's got 15 on wood. I think that's okay, because he will have to run into forest fire later. And forest fire will really mess with his wood income. Yeah.
Λέγε.
So I think he handles the forest fire quite well. But then, just less trips for some reason. Really shouldn't have less trips.
Tilbúin.
We got 8 trips to, what's it?
Έτοιμος.
6.
Έτοιμος.
Yeah. I don't know how he has less trips. I think it's because he only has 6 on gold. He's like, not putting enough villagers on gold. He needs to put like 10 on gold to build out 2 docks. One trireme is 50 gold. Yeah, you need at least 8 on gold to build out 2 docks. He's like he's got 3 docks actually. You can't make out 3 docks with only that many on gold. Like 12 is a good amount for 3 docks. Yeah, so he had the hiccup with gold earlier, and that made him struggle a bit on water. Right now he's caught up, but then he had to blow restoration, which he really shouldn't have. Like right now, if he had restoration, then he would be in a good spot. He doesn't have restoration for this fight, and then he loses it. Unfortunate. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be it for my stream. Good day, guys. See ya.